with each new child that comes into this earth, God gives us all a new blessing. God gives us all a chance to heal, to love, and to learn. And that's what we're going to be talking about today on Euphoria Radio. For those of you who are not familiar with me, Melissa, and what I do, I just want to kind of put a disclosure out on this episode that we are going to be talking about. And I want to say that I am a energy healer. I deal with multiple different kinds of energy, Reiki energy, angelic energy, crystal, shaman, kundalini, qigong, multiple different kinds of energy work. And so what I do is I go and collect energy through in the room or within the room, and I channel it through myself to be able to help heal other people, to bring them to higher vibrations. Now, through doing this, we both me and the client, will end up going through a meditational state, in which case we are open to see anything within the universal consciousness, and we are also able to communicate with all different things, any different realm that we choose to speak from. And so in this particular episode, we're going to talk about a conversation that I had with a baby that was still inside mom, still inside the uterus. As I was doing energy work on mom, I ended up having a conversation with the baby. Now, lots of you have asked for this show to come back. Again, I have to give a special props out to my friend Brian, who months and months ago had asked that I talked about this. And I am sorry, Brian, that it took so long, but I am here for all of you today. We are going to be talking about that. For those of you who didn't listen or didn't hear this before, welcome to Euphoria Radio, and welcome to Conversation with a Baby. And why is this important? This is important because it is a new year, and with babies, it brings in new beginnings and new ways to look at things, different kinds of energies. And so that's what we're going to talk about, is that new kind of energy, new kind of perspective. So as I was doing energy work on Mama, I am in touch with her tummy at the time, and was just wondering if I could maybe talk to baby. I had never tried it before. It was something that I thought maybe we could be able to do. If I can talk to anything, if I can talk to the angels and different extraterrestrials, if I could talk to people while they are through meditation or different spirits, maybe I could also try a baby. So I'm doing energy work on baby, connect with baby, and say, hi, baby, I'm Melissa, and I just wanted to kind of meet you. And for a while there, a couple minutes actually, there was just some silence and nothing was being said. And then finally baby talks and says, well, hi, Melissa. And I said, well, hi, how are you? It's so nice to meet you. And baby says, hello, I'm not doing so well. I'm quite uncomfortable here. It's very tiring, and it takes much more energy and much more concentration than I'm used to formulate from spirit into this human body. I have to now take my spirit that was spread throughout everything and conform it to one solid object, and it's very uncomfortable and very painful. And so I said, okay, I'm sorry. Can I give you some energy work? I do energy healing, and this is how I'm able to tap in and connect to you. I'm doing energy work on your mom right now. And I would really, really love to even make you an energy healer, so that when you come out, you're connected to the right sources and to your gods and your Jesus and your Usui and you sending masters, so that you can have this healing too. And an interesting thing happened at that very moment is baby turned her hands around, and in her hands, on each of the tips of her fingers, she had white strings attached to her. Now, why this is different is because I'll see red strings on people, sometimes even blue strings on people, and but never really white, unless they're doing actual healing. I'll see these different strings attached actually to multiple different places within the body. And it goes to multiple different sources, whether it be past lives or future lives or energy cords that have attached themselves to other people, whether that be that they met those people or did not meet those people yet. But in any case, this baby didn't have any red and didn't have any blue or any color in aura, actually, except for white. Baby was only white, and around baby was actually more of a darker kind of aura, but like I said, in the hands was white. And baby says, no, Melissa, I don't need to become a healer. I don't need that energy. I'm already there. I'm already attached to source. I'm here with Jesus. And as baby turns hands a little bit more and the light comes out of the hand, I see the Jesus there. And I'm with all of my ancestors, and tilts the hand a little bit more. And here's all these ancestors. And I'm with God, and tilts hands a little bit more. And here's the almighty light and with the almighty sound. And baby was showing me that baby was already attached to all of these things. And baby said, I'm actually detaching myself from them while I come down to earth. And not that I'm going to completely detach, but I'm just going to forget for a little bit. And I said, okay, why is that? And baby says, well, right now I am a healer. I am doing things that I'm supposed to be doing. Look at my mom and how much I've already healed her. Look at how much she's progressed. And she found that I was coming into her life. And when I come out of womb, everybody's going to want to touch me, and everybody's going to want to hold me, and everybody's going to want to look at me and be around me. And it's not because they're calling me, or they're calling me because they think that I'm so cute. But in fact, I'm calling them because I need to heal them. That's what babies do, is we're healers. We come from the closest source of everything, of the most loving, of the most trusting. We show that we are pure. And so when we are that pure and we're that close to all of these sources, we have the ability to heal you. And when you're coming to pick us up, it's because we're wanting to heal you. And it was really interesting hearing that, because it shed a whole nother perspective on everything. And if you've ever had a bad day and you see somebody with a baby and you pick that baby up, you just feel this immense love, just this deep love in your heart, and you get to hold these babies and they just make you feel happy. And it's because of their pureness, it's because of their trust, it's because of their healing properties, it's because of the fact that they just love you. They don't know you, and they love you. And so babies are true healers when they come out. And we are their protectors, and we must keep them safe. There's a poem that I had read a while ago, and it was about God speaking to a baby. And I'm going to read you the poem. A baby asked God, "They tell me you are sending me to earth tomorrow, but how am I going to live there being so small and helpless?" God said, "Your angels will be waiting for you and will take care of you." The child further inquired, "But tell me, here in heaven I don't have to do anything but sing and smile and be happy." God said, "Your angel will sing for you and also smile for you. And you will feel your angel's love and be very happy." Again the child asked, "And how am I going to be able to understand when people talk to me if I don't know that language?" God said, "Your angel will tell you the most beautiful and sweet words you will ever hear. And with much patience and care, your angel will teach you how to speak." "And what am I going to do when I want to talk to you, God?" He said, "Your angel will place your hands together and will teach you how to pray." "But who will protect me?" God said, "Your angel will defend you, even if it means risking its life." "But I will always be sad. I will not see you anymore." God said, "Your angel will always talk to you about me and will teach you the way to come back to me, even though I will always be next to you." At that moment, there was much peace in heaven, and voices from earth could be heard. And the child hurried and asked, "God, if I'm to leave now, please tell me my angel's name." And God said, "You will simply call her Mommy." We're going to continue the conversation with baby, but I do want to take this time to say that as we are talking about conversations with babies and as we're talking about these children growing up, please know that they are a blessing from God, and we must be their angels and their protectors. And that they were coming to this world, and they understood, or she understood, that she was eventually going to forget things. And so we were talking about her transition from the spiritual life into this life, or this reality, this realm, this reality. And as we were talking about it, she was talking about the different pains and stuff that she was going through because of the fact that she had to bring her all of her cells, all of her consciousness, or as much as she could gather, and tighten them all up, get them all together in one fine source, in one fine object, bring all of the atoms together. And it was very painful to do so, very frustrating, very tiring. And now this is why babies have to go through the womb and go through that process of growth and need so much energy and so much work and so much rest while inside the womb, because of the fact that it is growing and it's so stressful and it's so hurtful. Also, the water, as it can breathe into the water, it is used to not breathing our regular air. It is used to breathing, the air of the different cosmos and whatever planets and energies that all of those different things are from in the spiritual world. And so breathing in air isn't something that is natural to them. And so they have kind of a buffer, kind of a filter that goes on through them. And that buffer is the water, the placenta fluid, or the amniotic fluid, that we have within ourselves that protect the baby, and so that their lungs are able to breathe and be okay. And that also they get all of the hydration and the nutrients and stuff for their cells to formulate, because it helps pack the cells in. Baby went on to talk about how when baby comes out, it says, Melissa, you're looking to open up your third eye. You're opening up your spiritual eye, and it didn't really call it third eye. It did say spiritual eye. You're opening up your spiritual eyes, and that's what you're trying to do all your life. And you can now do it because you learned all of your lessons. And so with more lessons you learn, the more spirit you gain. And I'm coming in and I'm seeing into my human eyes, and I've been seeing from the spirit world for so long and from my spirit eyes for so long that it's going to take time for me to adjust into my human eyes, and it's going to be painful for all that light to be coming, because babies can see all the different codes and can see all auras and can see all the rays and can see all the angels and everything with spirit eyes. So things are very, very bright and very actually painful for them, which was interesting for me to know, because I was a nurse before, and we were told that babies can't see for the first 3 months of their life. Now, I always thought that it was because of the fact that their eyes were growing, and that the cones and the retina and the lenses and everything just weren't quite adjusted to the air, because that's what we had been taught. But baby was saying, no, it's that I have to close down and learn how to dim down my spirit light and my spirit eyes so that I can see the rest of the world. And now this is interesting too, because baby was saying, I can still see everybody when I come out. I can see all of my ancestors. I can see all of my angels. I can see all of the darkness. I can see it all still. And so when you're holding your baby, when you're looking at your baby and your baby's looking all around the place, this is the part where that they're actually seeing different things in the room. And we know as children that children continue to see things. Lots of children will talk about, monsters, and they'll talk about ghosts, or they'll talk about spirits. They'll talk to people who have passed in your family, and they do this. And baby said, yeah, because we're taught we're here to give you a message. We're here to let you know. But you humans tell us that we can't see it. You humans tell us that we're wrong. And we start to believe you because we're innocent. We don't know of lies. We don't know of hurt. We don't know of pain. We don't know of judgment. We only know of love, and we only know of light until you teach us differently. And when you teach us differently and you take away our words and you tell us that the things that we're seeing aren't really being seen, then we start to believe you instead of ourselves. Now, this is really interesting because we do this to a lot of our autistic people, our bipolar people, our schizophrenic people, who are homeless. We do this to a lot of people who are very important in this life. We tell them that what they see isn't the truth. And I was told that for a while until I found my own strength to say, no, it definitely is the truth. And once I started seeing the truth, I was seeing things all over the place and learning more and more and more truth, to the point I am able to explain mostly anything, especially when it comes to the spiritual realm, because I've been able to visit, see it, acknowledge it, know my truth, remember my truth. Where children growing up are told that that's not true. And so when we do that, we actually take away their spirit. We take away abilities from them. We take away these abilities to remember. And what ends up happening is that they forget to tell us their message. And they said, we come out, baby comes out saying, I come out of the body all knowing. I come knowing everything, and this is why I cannot speak. For if I were to tell you everything, you would feel as though the whole world was going to be destroyed. You would feel like you were overwhelmed. You would be too scared to know all of the truth, because the truth is too much for humans to handle. And so God takes away my voice right away. You noticed anything else that comes out right away, they have voices. The cows know how to talk to the cows, and the deers to the deers, and the fish to the fish. They all know how to speak. But God took away human voice, because God knows that we would come and we would tell the truth, and it would be too much. So our voice is taken away until we learn your language. We learn your emotions. We learn how you deal with things, and we observe. Another reason why they cannot speak is because they learn to observe and gather all the information, so that when they're ready to tell you the message, they can speak freely in a tone and a manner that you would understand, and in a language you would understand, so that they could tell you face to face. But we tell them that they forget. We tell them that what they're seeing isn't true. We don't speak enough about God these days to help them remember and keep them on their track. We don't teach them enough about spirit to keep their spirit strong and live and vital, full of energy and full of this flowing chakras around them. And that's important. That also is our job as we carry these little blessings, to remind them of their spirituality, to remind them of who they are and where they really came from. For I know that I love my child, and in this earth, I'm their parent. But in the spiritual realm, I'm just a host. And the source is the real parent. And I need to remember that. I need to remember that there's somebody higher than me looking after me and seeing how I'm taking care of their child. And you need to remember that too. Next up, we're going to be talking about nature versus nurture, and what baby had to say about that, and why people come into this world. And speaking of nature, I want to start this out with Eric Whitaker's Laksh Amaraik. The reason that this is important is that this is 153 different voices that was sang from 12 different countries all around the world. And this the beauty of people nurturing each other and people coming together in unity and in oneness. And you can hear the angels, you can hear the gods while they sing this beautiful song, and they come together in peace and harmony as this baby has been telling us to do. But if you have questions or comments, please go on to facebook.com/party934.com and write your comments, questions, concerns there. You can also hit us up on Twitter at Party934. Brothers and sisters, thank you once again for being with me here, Melissa, on Euphoria Radio, Party934.com. I love each and every one of you and know that each and every one of you is a blessing today in my life. brothers and sisters. I love it when I hear people singing together, when I can just hear all of the different tones and the different vibrations that flow through everyone. But yet, it makes one glorious harmonic tone, one beautiful song, one beautiful frequency that you can actually see the angels at. They get so excited when we sing in choirs and when we sing in tunes. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to watch. And as we're talking about babies and we're talking about them coming into the world, singing is ever so important to babies and infants, children even, all of us. And all of us love music. And why is that, brothers and sisters? Because God talks to us through music, through tone, through frequency. I once had a conversation with God, and God had told me that God is not a word. God's real name isn't God. It's not Allah. It's a tone that God has planted in each and every one of us, a single seed. And that's why we are all driven to music and specific notes and tools and instruments to make music happen, is because we are all just wanting to hear our God particle talk to us. You know, we all have this, and we all can do this. You can even do this at home, and it's a great thing to do when you're going into meditation or prayer. It really heightens you, and that's to just make a simple sound that comes out of your voice. Doesn't have to be the prettiest singing voice. It's just whatever sound comes once you push all of the air out of your breath and it emits a tune. So when I call God, I say, "Oh," and that's my God tone. And God knows at every time that I'm tuning into the frequency that God gave me in order to speak to God and to speak to Source. And so when our babies come out, they love singing because the tones and the frequencies and the harmonies that the person singing to them is emitting reminds them so much of God. And brothers and sisters, as baby was coming out, you know, it was going through its mission. And I said, well, what are you supposed to do? And baby says, well, I'm supposed to unite people and heal people and bring people together. And I said, well, how are you going to do that? And baby says, you know, lots of people come together for me. Lots of people come for parties. Lots of people come. But I'm supposed to teach you love of anything, that people need to help people, and that we need to understand as humans and as spirits that we're never alone. And only the times when we say that we're alone are we actually cutting the cords from other people. Because God made us different from the things in nature. God made us human. God evolved us and said that we need each other. And this is why when I come out of the womb, I need to be fed, I need to be changed, I need to be picked up if I need to be turned over, I need to be held. Everything needs to be done for me. I can't even lift my head up because I am teaching people trust, I am teaching people love, I am teaching people judgment, and I surrender myself to you. I surrender myself to the fact that I am no longer strong enough alone to care for myself, but in fact I need to be nurtured by other people. This is very different from nature and the things we see outside, because if a cow were to be born, it knows how to walk that very day. It knows how to get food. It knows how to eat. It knows how to speak. The same if insects or bunnies or other things were to go. They understand. They know how to do things. But there are certain things, just like wolves and dogs, that are supposed to stay in packs. And humans are one of those things. We're born without the ability to care for ourselves. If a mama wolf walks up and walks away from her babies, they'll die because they can't see where to get food. They depend on her for the warmth. We depend on you for the warmth. They depend on her for the love. We depend on you for the love. They depend on you for the healing. We depend on each other for everything. We depend on one another because our strength is in our unity. Our strength is in our love for each other, and our strength is in our nurturing for each other. And if we don't have that, we don't have anything. And it doesn't matter the age you are. If you are home and you are alone and you have nobody with you, you feel abandoned. You feel hurt. You feel like a lost soul. You feel dark and depressed, and you feel unwanted and unloved, and you feel like your life is not worth living. And this is why people die when they don't have people in their lives. You see the husbands and wives, and you see the wife as she passes, and just a few months or a few years later, the husband passes, or vice versa. Maybe mothers have children that die, and years later they die. The heart literally goes through, and I know this as a nurse, it's an actual medical condition called failure to thrive. But the heart, baby says, goes through a death, so our spirit goes through a death when we are unloved. And so it is very important to always remember that we were born needing nurturing. And so forever and ever and ever, amen, we will always need nurturing, even in spirit. And that's why God's there for us. And that's why the angels are there for us. And that's why the spirit guides are there for us. Because if we aren't nurtured physically, mentally, and spiritually, we will cease to exist. What a great lesson. What great words, brothers and sisters. If we don't help each other, if we don't care for one another, and if we don't respect and honor the brothers and sisters around us, we literally cease to exist. We would. Because we would go from a broken heart and a broken mind and a broken spirit. Our body, our mind, and our physical spirit would literally give up on this earth, and it would cease to exist. Everybody's fear is that they would die alone. It's the most well-known fear. And it's also the reason why most people commit suicide, because they are alone. See, we aren't meant to be alone. We're not meant to be alone. From the very time we're born, from the very moment that consciousness even exists, we're not meant to be alone. And that's how we found each other. That's how we're on this earth together. That's why we choose to have friends when we outgrow our family. That's why we make new families when we outgrow our family. That's why when we have families, we don't need our friends so much. Because as long as we have people to love and to care for, we feel whole. Please, brothers and sisters, if this message is getting to you in any way, please go on to www.party934.com and click on that donate button. Because our words, the spirit words, are important. And there are messages out there that need to get to you. There are things that you need to hear so you can expand your mind, expand your soul, and expand your heart. Because you're worth it. And you know you're worth it. And that's why you tune in.